In this video, I'm going to start demonstrating the use of subqueries, and specifically we'll just do subqueries in the where clause. So, I mentioned last week the simple question of give me the title of, or titles with an S, of the most expensive book is not as trivial as you would think. So for instance, a lot of students having read that question will go, oh, well, I'll select the title and the max retail from books. Well, of course, if you don't do the group by clause, you're going to get an answer, but it'll be wrong. Right? What it's basically doing is grabbing the last book out of a list and then the max retail that it found, and the two aren't really associated. But then if you put in the group by clause, you're like, well, wait a minute. A title is unique in our book database, and so we're going to have a group of one, and we're going to find the max retail for that one group. And so this basically just returns every book and its price at that point. So how do we solve that? That's where we do subqueries, where basically we go ask the question in this query right here, what is our most expensive book? And so it comes back $89.95. Well, now we use that query in the where clause of another query, where we say select the title and retail from books where the retail price is equal to, and quite literally I could have typed $89.95 here, but rather than doing that, because a database is probably a living dynamic thing, that price might change at some point. Rather than hard code that, let's just ask the question, what is our most expensive book? And now show me all the books that have that price, because it could be more than one. So let's start doing a couple more, maybe more complicated examples. Let's say the question was this: who has placed the last order in our database and what did they buy? Well, all right, so there's a couple things here. One, this video is talking about obviously subqueries in the where clause, but the other thing is strategies about how to solve these problems. And the strategy is just start simple. Get one query working, add to it a little bit more, add to it a little bit more, and slowly build up to the final answer. So let's demonstrate that. In this case, what is our last order? Right? I can use the max function on the order date and figure out what is our last order. So let me grab that. Let's run it. And we go, okay, our last order was in 2009, April 5th. Cool. Well, now I want to know who placed an order on that last date. Could be more than one person. So I'm going to grab last name, first name, and the order date. Of course, last name and first name are from the customers table. I'm going to join to orders because that's where the order date is. We're using the customer num. And now I want to see all the orders where the order date equals our max, which we now know as being 2009, April 5th. So this is going to show me who placed orders on the last date. So I run that. And there we go. I've got 3 people have placed orders on that last date. So then I go, well, now what did they buy on those orders? So no big deal. I just take the one that I did up here, and now I'm going to join to the order item table. So basically nothing's changed other than I added an ISBN column, and I did one more join because it's in the order items that shows me what they bought. Right, the ISBN column in the order items table. And the where clause is the same. So now I'm going to see the ISBN, and notice something. My previous query that I just ran, I have 3 people that placed an order. But what did they buy? Well, actually somebody bought more than one. So when I run that, all of a sudden Bonita shows up because she bought 2 different books. She shows up twice, and then there's Greg and Ken. Now, of course, if I wanted to say, well, what title is this ISBN? I would have to add the title to the select column and one more join to the books, which I'm not going to go there, but you get the idea. Start out simple and slowly build up your queries to try and answer these questions. I always look at my results and go, okay, now based on these results, what can I do with that? And then add to that query. Let's do another example. Let's say the question is, show me all the computer books whose retail price is above average for computer books. So there's basically two questions in there, and the first one is, well, what is the average for computer books? So that's a simple query. We're just going to grab the average retail from books, where the category equal computer. I don't need a group by clause in this case. I'm not trying to get the average retail by any groups. I'm eliminating all the records except those that belong to computer and just saying grab me the average. So when I run that, it's going to return a single number, 5285. Okay, so now the question was, show me all the computer books whose price is above 5285. Like I said, I could hard code that, but things change as I add books, delete books, or whatever. I don't know what the average retail is on any given day, where my select clause that I just wrote does. So I'm going to grab title and retail from books, where the retail is greater than, and here's my average that I just wrote. And notice, so a lot of times, by the way, all I do is copy and paste. So I will select this, control copy, and then what I do is I put in, I'm getting rid of this right now, I put in an open and close paren, and then I just paste my subquery inside that, and then just for legibility I'll tab things over to kind of keep things collected. So every subquery needs to be inside an open and close paren like that. All right, but now what's this other and doing down here? Well, remember, I only want to see computer books who are above average for computer books. So here's my average for computer books. Well, now I want to take a look at all the others. So basically I got a junction in my where clause, right, where I'm saying where the retail is greater than this and the category is computer. Okay, so I have two things going on in that where clause. One of them is being answered with a subquery. So now when I hit run, those are my three books and they're all above the average price of $52.85. Let's take a look at another example. So here's the question. Are there any customers in our customers table that have not placed an order? Well, we learned outer joins, and so last week we solved that problem doing a left join on the customers table to orders, and that is one way to do it. So when I select that, I get here some customers who've never placed an order, right? The order number is null. So I just went customers, left join on orders, and I said only show me those records where the order number is null. All right, well, there's another way to do it using a subquery. And this is a great strategy with subquery, so keep this in your little toolbox of ways to solve problems, and that is the in and not in clause of the where, inside the where clause, right? So basically what this strategy is, and it's really easy to understand, is show me all the customer numbers that are in the orders table. All right, I can do that. There is all the customer numbers in the orders table, so if I select that, there they are. Well, the outer query in this case is show me the last name, first name, and order number. Oops, I can't have order number there. So show me the last name and first name from customers, where the customer number, right, the customer number in the customer table is not in this list. So this list right here came from that subquery, customer number in the order table. So now I'm asking for all the customer numbers that are not in this list. So when I run this together, I'll get the customer, the name, and, well, I didn't ask for customer number, but anyway, the name of all the customers who are not in that list. I'm going to run over and do kind of a silly demonstration of demonstrating how I can actually solve a lot of problems without joining tables at all, just using the in or not in clause of the where in the where statement. So right here, look at how long this gets. I'm going to select, I want to know what books Morales has ordered. Bonita Morales. All right. So I would just want to select the title and ISBN from books, but I want the ISBN that's in, well, I'm going to select the ISBN from the order items table. Where the order number is in, well, I'm going to select the order number from the order table where the customer number is in. And now I'm selecting the customer number from customers where the last name is Morales. So basically, if we were to work backwards, this select is grabbing a customer number. And now I'm grabbing the order number from that customer number, all the order numbers in orders for that customer number. Now I have a list of order numbers, and so I'm going to grab all the ISBNs out of the order items table for those order numbers, right? And then now I have a list of ISBNs. I'm going to grab the title and the ISBN from books for that list of ISBNs. So for instance, if I were to just run this innermost query, all it's going to return is Morales' number, 1001. Now, how many orders did she place? So I'll grab those two queries and run it, and oh, she's placed 2 orders, so there's my list. What ISBNs are in the order items table for those 2 orders? So now I grab this up through 2 parentheses and run it, hopefully. Oh, so there are all the ISBNs. So she actually, it's kind of weird, the top book and the bottom book are the same, and then she has another one right here that's the same. So then when I go to say, well, show me the title and ISBN, I'm only going to see the title one time, and then these, so I'm going to only see 3 books basically, since she's ordered 2 of them twice. But again, you grab that whole thing, and those are the 3 books she's ordered, not realizing she's ordered 2 of them twice, right? The way we have done this in the past was to just do joins. And then, of course, with the joins, I'm seeing all of the books and the fact that she ordered them twice. But nonetheless, using that in clause and subqueries, I can accomplish, for the most part, the same thing. All right, moving back, let's do one more example. It's kind of a fun one. See, things get more interesting now that we're able to do subqueries, right? We have all the basics, and so now how can I apply those basics to solve business problems? So here's my new business problem. Show me customers who have bought a book from the computer category only and not from any other category. All right, so I want to see the people who have only purchased computer books, but they have not purchased any other. So, how do you solve that? So, starting out simple, I guess I easily can say, show me the customer number, right, from orders, customer numbers in the orders table, joining to order items, joining to books, because that's where the category is. So I can say, show me the customer number out of the order table where people have purchased computer books. All right, so there are a list of people who purchased computer books. Well, then what we can do is show me a list of customer numbers where they have not bought computer books, right? Where the category is not computer. Whoops, let me just say that. That's not, let's be more accurate. It's where the category is not computer. All right, so these are people who have bought books in all the other categories. Okay, so what it amounts to is, do I have people in this first list, the people who bought computers, who are not in this second list, the people who bought books from any other category? That's what we're trying to figure out. And in fact, later we'll talk about set operators. There's one called minus that would solve this, but MySQL doesn't use that or have it. So here we go. Here are people who bought computer books. Here are people, customer numbers, who bought all the other types of books. Are there people in the first list, not in the second list? So here's how we can solve that. Here's our first list. Show me people who bought books in computer. And the customer number is not in that second list we just did. Right? So this, I basically just copied and pasted this. Control copy. And then I run down here. I'll just show you how I type it. I say customer number is not in. I put in my open and close parens for a subquery, and I hit Control V. I just paste in that other query. So as I mentioned, it's just write little chunks of query to get things to work so you can kind of see the data, understand where you're going, and then you can copy and paste those chunks into one larger query. So here we go. Now I'm saying, show me people who are in the first list, who are not in the second list. And so when I run that, I should get a group of people. There we are. I have 3 people who aren't in that list. So 3 people are in the first list that are not in the second list. All right. Now in real life, when you run queries, I see these numbers. You'd always want to verify by doing another query, coming at it from a different approach, that your results are right. Right? Just because I ran that and get 3 numbers, I might have a fault in my logic and I'm getting 3 customers accidentally, and it's not accurate. So what I want to know is, show me all the books ordered by these 3 customers. That's it, right? And so this is a standard query we've done before. Show me the books ordered by these 3 customers. So here we go. Here's the customer number, the title, and the category. From orders, join order items using order number, joining books using ISBN. But I don't want that for everybody, right? I just want it for those 3. So I'm going to say where customer number is in. Well, now I could, of course, just type those, but rather than doing that, I will use this query. So quite literally, I run up here and select that, control copy. I run down here, and again, I'll delete it just to demonstrate it. I come down here and put my open and close parens because I know that that query up there produces this list of 3 customers. So I go control paste, and there is, oops, did I not grab it all? Something doesn't look right there. I don't think I grabbed my whole subquery. So let me run back up there, control copy. Come back to my 2 parentheses and control paste. That looks better. And then, of course, I want to tab all this over for no other reason than just readability. There we go. And the beauty of subqueries is I can test them. I go, all right, does this still produce my list of 3? So I can run that and go, oh yeah, there's my list of 3. Cool. So now I can select the whole thing and see what books those 3 people have bought. And hopefully it's only computer books, because that was the whole purpose of this, was show me customers who've only purchased computer books. And there we go. So those 3 people bought only computer books, but nothing else. And I could verify that with this query. So we're done showing using subqueries in the where clause. Obviously, at this point, it becomes a very creative endeavor, right? You're given a business problem, and how can you solve it? And there's more than one way. So I'm just giving examples of a way. Obviously, this kind of crazy example, I could just do a join, show me the books that Morales ordered, or I can do it all with subqueries. So basically, at this, you're just trying to solve problems, and you've got to let your imagination run wild and use the tools you've learned throughout the quarter. How to do select from, join where, and then in the where clause, don't forget you got between and in, and, or, greater than, less than, not in, not greater than, right? You have all these different tools, and so now you have to start putting them together to try to solve problems. In the next video, we'll demonstrate how to use subqueries in the from clause, which gets exciting, and then we'll also apply it to the having clause.